Joining us this morning is a candidate for Meadville City Council, a position she currently sits on. Autumn Vogel joins us. Good morning, Autumn. How are you?
Good morning, Luke. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, good to see you this morning. Well, before we talk about the race, let's talk about your background.
Yeah, so before I got on council, which was January 2020, I had worked for the city's redevelopment authority for just under 3 years. I did a lot of kind of Main Street work, small business development support, did a lot of work in downtown Meadville, and helped to coordinate our multi-year community listening initiative, my Meadville Community Heart and Soul program. Before that, did second Saturday markets and events around town, organized events around town. So have spent years working in Meadville. And loving it. Yeah.
So how did you get started in this field? Is it something you always wanted to do? Did you get involved at a young age and thought, boy, I think I could do this and help others?
I can't say that I set out to do this. One thing just kind of led to another, such as life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had gotten involved in Meadville when I was in school. I came to Meadville to go to Allegheny College, and while I was there, I got involved in work going on downtown. And some work to do community development. I got a job when I graduated as doing the second Saturday markets that would happen in downtown Meadville. Got folks coming into town for that. I organized a series of events through the year of Meadville. One of those months of programming was all about our local economy. That inspired our city council at the time to create a community development coordinator position at our RDA. I took that job, really liked it, and then got to see how things kind of worked on the back end, how things were working in our city. And so when they shut down the redevelopment authority, it was a way that I could keep serving the community to step in this way. So.
Yeah, no, I always enjoy like the background stories, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be Han Solo and fly the Millennium Falcon and all that, and now
has that worked for you?
No, I'm still trying, but see,
Okay,
here I am. No, it's always interesting to see how people end up doing what they're doing, and to find their passion. And I'm sure when you were in that position, it was great working with businesses in the downtowns, just trying to get things going down there.
Yeah, for sure. It was great. And what was really neat was just, just like with a little bit of help and support, some big things could happen, right? So we heard from lots of people. They wanted a coffee shop in downtown Meadville. And so I organized some people to get behind Michael and Tanya, who had a coffee bar in the market house, and we got them $10,000. We raised together. They opened the 10K Cafe, the taro bean roasting company, right? And now it's French Creek Coffee and Tea, right? Some investment has come in behind them, right? Which and so they've really been able to take off. And so there's been a bunch of little stories like that, with just like a little bit of help and support. Some things are really able to get into motion. So it's been fun to be part of that.
So 4 years ago, you thought, I should run for city council. What kind of got into your mind, and what made you say, this is something I'm going to do?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. No, I'm just kidding. So I was, like I said, I was staff, and so I was seeing how things were working or weren't, and in particular, right, I mentioned that I helped to coordinate a community listening project, and we were hearing from a lot of people what they loved about our community, but also what they would change about it. And Meadville, city of Meadville is largely renters. 63% of Meadville rents their homes. And so we heard from a lot of those people that the places they were living in, right, they were paying too much, or the conditions weren't great. It wasn't from everybody, right? But from the folks that we did hear it from, we were really finding that it was hard to get anything moving on that. We couldn't really talk about it publicly. And that was one of the big things, right? Was some of the things that we were hearing from people on the ground couldn't get kind of elevated to the attention of our city leadership. And so some of us came together and we said, there's a city council race coming up. There's going to be 2 seats open. Let's figure out what we could to do if we got on if we got some people on city council. And then I was laid off, and Larry had been praying about it, and we both came to the same meeting. We're like, we think we can do this, and so we decided to run together. So it was less about I had anything going on in my mind, but more like we kind of saw the work in front of us to make our community better, and recognize that we could play a role in that when it worked for us. Yeah.
So over the past 4 years, you mentioned that particular issue. What other issues came up that you said, "Boy, this is something I want to tackle"?
Yeah, I mean, so there's been a lot that we've accomplished, especially in the last few years. That's been really encouraging. So we there's nationally there's an EMT shortage, and kind of in response to that and how we were seeing that play out locally, our firefighters union came to city council and they said, we've been putting the idea of a city-run EMS in front of city council for years, and it's never gotten any traction. We think that this could solve our problem. We worked back and forth. We worked out the numbers. They came up with a really thorough plan, and so we've got now a city-run ambulance service within our fire department that's going really well. Response times are fast, right? People are getting the care that they need, and so that was a big thing, right? We didn't set out to do that, but because we were, open to working through some stuff with staff, that was able to happen. So that's one thing. Our police officers, it was hard for us to fill the positions in our police department. And we were told by our department that a big part of that was because we didn't offer pensions anymore. We had negotiated that away, and so we reinstated police pensions. And I think we're back up to a full department now. We've got some hires in the pipeline, and we'll bring on some more people because we've entered into this agreement now with Vernon Township to provide 24/7 police coverage there too. So I mean, those are some big things I think that have been that I've been proud that we've been able to do. Again, they're coming from staff, but as a former staff member, right, remembering what it was like to bring ideas to city leadership and maybe that not going anywhere. It's been nice to be able to work alongside our staff to to come up with solutions for some of the challenges our city faces.
Sometimes and we are involved with a number of city governments, filming meetings or being a part of the conversations or having them on the show. And I used to think it's just weird to me that other or communities won't, talk to each other, won't pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I see you're having this issue too. What are you guys doing here?" But I don't think that's the case. I think that's happening a lot behind the scenes, and that's not being discussed a whole lot. But I think it's been mentioned at meetings. Meadville picking up the phone, talking to Titusville, or Oil City talking to Franklin. Is there a lot of that going on? Maybe we just don't know about, or should there be more of those conversations? Because the issues that you're bringing up aren't just unique to Meadville; they're also being discussed, elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that's it's true that there's a lot of it going on already, but I also think that there's always room for more of that. Especially like you're saying, these are issues that aren't just Meadville's issues, but we are experiencing them, and so we're trying to come up with solutions. So we've got good relationships, and they're happening at different levels, right? When we were working with the fire department to explore EMS, we fire departments from across Western PA, across the region, we're coming out to show support, or we're lending. They said, we operate our own, and this is how this works. That was really helpful. Obviously, the deal that we've been able to strike with Vernon Township, that came from relationships and conversations between our city manager and our chief of police and folks at Vernon Township. So we've got a few seats on the French Creek Council of Governance, which is a space designed just for that, for governments to come together, find some solutions, and work together on problems. So it does happen. I think there could be more of it. We're all busy, and these are like this is like a volunteer thing, but it's good, that when we do see it happen and see something come of it, I think that's really encouraging. Yeah.
You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel. Autumn Vogel joining us here this morning. Well, Autumn, as your term is set to expire, obviously election season, and you're like, sign me up. I'd like to do this again. What kind of got into your head to say, I want to keep going?
Oh man, it's tough work being on city council. But I also really, I do love it. I do love that it's a way that I can serve my community. I appreciate that people feel like they can come up to me and let me know what's going on in their neighborhood, or where they're living, and more or less I can help them figure out what to do about it, or get them in touch with the right people. It's also, we've got a lot underway. We've been able to get a lot of work started in the first 4 years on city council, and I want to see it through and deliver on the things that we promised people that we would do. We just need a little more time for that.
Yeah, and we hear that all the time from folks, where I think you get on, either school board, city council, commissioners, whatever, and you go, I'm here to make a difference, but government seems to run at its own pace, so there's never enough time. You're always waiting. Is that sort of the thing where it's like, hey, we want to get this thing done, but oh yeah, we gotta wait for things to happen?
Oh, it's true, man. Sometimes I feel so frustrated by the sluggish pace of government, but sometimes I'm grateful for it, right? Like in this last year, we've gotten a lot of stuff out, and a lot of things done, and that's what I mean. Like there's so much underway that's just getting started that we really need to make sure that it takes hold and can stay in effect and be seen through. Got plans that are happening, a housing action plan, a climate action plan, all that stuff is like teeing us up for this money that's coming down from the state and federal government. And so it's just a matter of, okay, we're working on the plan, or we've just got it out. Now we got to see it through to kind of get that final piece, get that money into Meadville that we're working on. So but sometimes, boy, the pace of government, I get it. People get frustrated that it's slow, and so do I. But I feel it.
So this time around, is it more than we want to see things through, or is it, hey, here's some things I'd like to bring to the table, this next term if I'm elected?
Yeah, I mean, this time around for me, it's really about keeping Meadville moving forward. So there are things that we want to see moving. There are things we want to see through, right? So we just passed the rental inspection program this year, and that's just getting started. It takes a few years, right, to get going, and so we want to see that through. Like I said, we've got this housing action plan, a climate action plan, that we got to finish, and then get the money work and put the programs in so we can be fixing up houses, weatherizing them, bringing money to Meadville for all those things. And then there's also just a lot that I feel like I've learned in those first 4 years that it's given me ideas, like you said, talking to other cities and seeing what they're doing. Right. There's more that we can try. There's lots I've learned. There's relationships that we can maybe leverage. And so I'm excited to see what can come from that.
What do you hear when you're out in the community? What are questions that you get? Are there some common questions that people keep asking, or do you not get questions? Is it just, hey, keep going, or we want to see this, we want to see that? What's the experience when you're out in the community?
Yeah, I get it, man. It runs the gamut. I get traffic's too fast on my road. We need a stop sign here. But I also get, from a lot of people. We talked about housing in Meadville. Talked about, what renters are experiencing, both private renters in the private market and in public housing, and really. We've got more work to do on tenant landlord relationships, and we've got more work to do to make housing more affordable. That's a thing we're hearing now a lot, is that it's tough for people to afford homes, and for the place they're living. Think about buying a home, is a lot of folks are priced out of that. And so that's hearing a lot of that too. And generally too, I should share that I hear people talk about the energy in Meadville and just what they're seeing happening, that things are in motion, our downtown's alive, people are glad to be here. And so I appreciate when I hear that too, and that happens pretty regularly.
When you look back at the last several years, what are you most proud of?
Man, I think I'm most proud of the um the good work that we've done, especially like I said before, that has come from listening to the staff. I think that holds a special place in my heart. Like I said before, right? I worked for the city, and I know what that is like to see the problem so clearly, to see the solution so clearly, and just to really not be able to get anywhere. And so the fact that we've been able to really achieve some things because of the vision and the clarity and the drive that our fire department has had for our city and our police department, like that, to me, that makes me really proud that we've been able to be open to that. Those solutions were right there, right? We didn't come up with them. They were within our staff, within our city. And so being able to listen to folks and work with them to see through their idea has made me proud.
So should you be reelected, what are your top goals for the next 4 years?
Yeah, so top goals for the next 4 years, we want to deliver on safe and affordable housing, right? So we've got to keep moving to inspect rental properties, make sure they're healthy and safe. But also that affordability piece is huge. Again, like ensuring that people have the option to buy a home, that they can afford where they rent, and that landlords can afford to fix up the places too. So we're working to bring money in so that folks have support to be able to fix up houses that they own, houses that they're renting out. We're working on that. So that's a big priority. We need good paying jobs and hopefully jobs that can, leverage some of this money that's coming out, do that work to fix our houses, fix our roads. So we need jobs of the future that folks are ready to take. And we want to have a sustainable government. So we got to fix our city budget. And we've got to address some of those big issues, the financial issues that the city's facing, not just for the short term, but for the long term, so that we're able to make investments into our future.
And that's always challenging. Listen, we all have budgets we work with, but people will be like, cut here, and then when you do, it's when you take away services, it can be frustrating. So, certainly some challenges ahead. Well, if folks want to learn more about your campaign or ask you questions, what's the best way to find you?
Sure. People can go to voteformeadville.com. They can also find me at the city building, or they can call in the city building. My new office hours are Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. So generally around town.
Stop by and share a comment or ask a question, and
that's right.
Get out and vote next Tuesday.
That's right. Thank you.
Autumn, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Luke. I really appreciate it.
All right. All the best. Take care. It's Autumn Vogel joining us here this morning, candidate for Meadville City Council.